Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Cutting Through the Bullshit. I am your host, Dr. Stephanie Snyder, and I am a high performance mentor. Through my unique blend of strategy, mindset, and intuition, I help entrepreneurs to cut through the BS in order to create the life and business they desire. So you're getting me in early morning Monday because I batch created last week and, forgot to create enough. Or rather, I thought I was going to have time this past weekend to create another one for this morning, and life got the best of me. And so I'm here Monday morning before I clean the house and head out for my workout. So it is what it is. But I did want to share some exciting news. So my husband and I recently purchased a business, and the first week was a shit show. I'm just going to be honest with you. We've been trying to close on this business for over a month, and it kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed. And the bankers wanted this, the attorneys wanted that, and it was a whole nonsense thing, right? And then on Sunday night last week, someone hacked the previous owner's email address and sent out a crazy amount of spam. And Microsoft Office shut down our business email. And it just felt like it was the first week of a deployment. As a military wife, if you're listening to this, you know in the first week that your spouse deploys, everything that could go wrong goes wrong in the first week. And then it just kind of seems to be smooth sailing after that. But I remember one deployment, my son had an allergic reaction literally hours after my husband deployed. And then an appliance broke. It might have been the dishwasher or something. One of the appliances broke, and then I got super, super sick. So it was like Murphy's Law, things come in three kind of a thing. And so it was, that's what this first week in business was like. And I had a girlfriend say, well, is this like a precursor to what this is going to look like? And I said, no, I just feel like all the kinks are getting worked out in this first week, and it should be smooth sailing from then, right? But it was so interesting, just kind of the personal dialogue that was going on while all of this was happening, because part of me wanted to panic, right? Part of me wanted to panic and just freak out. And the other part of me was like, it's really not that big a deal, right? Like, yeah, your email is locked down, but you have personal email and it'll be okay, right? And so I definitely had to do a whole lot of coaching myself through this first week, in terms of the email getting locked down, and then an order going out and it being incorrect upon being received, that's the right one, upon being received by the client. And it was a whole lot of, how are you handling yourself, Steph, is what was happening. Because how you handle this situation on a small scale will absolutely come in handy when it becomes a larger scale, right? So how are you handling yourself right now in these moments? How are you handling this situation? And yeah, I wanted to freak out. I wanted to panic. I wanted to run for the hills and all the things, but it felt kind of like a defining moment of, this is it. How are we handling this? And my husband definitely got frustrated. He was like, what do you mean we're locked out of this thing? Like, why can you just set up a new email? Like, what is and I was like, well, no, we really can't just we could set up a new email, but this one is linked to our website. We really just need this email. So yeah, it's going to take a little bit longer for us to really dive in. But as I joked with someone the other day, I was like, by the time I get this thing like up and running, this business is going to be a well-oiled machine, because I've had some time to dabble in it, to see kind of the processes of what works and what doesn't work. And it's really going to be a beautiful thing as we get this up off the ground when we get the okay, right? Because then the other side of that too was we were trying to port over the business phone number, and Zoom was like, yeah, no, you can't do that. And I was like, what are we doing here? Right? And my brother was like, well, the joys of owning a different kind of a business, right? Because as a coach, as a mentor, I've kept my business real simple. So there's not a whole lot of things that could go wrong. But as you switch and you take on this different kind of a business, right? It's I don't want to call it a drop ship because it's more than that, but it's a middleman, right? We are the middlemen between, we're business to business kind of a thing. And working business to business is very different than working business to consumer. And so it's just kind of interesting to learn those ropes and not necessarily get thrown to the fire, but also get thrown to the fire or the wolves, whichever way you prefer. But it's been really fun to just kind of see, all right, how am I handling this kind of hiccup and how do I move forward from it? Because I definitely don't want these little things to take me out at my knees and just handicap me through it. So I jump on here to say that it will all be okay, right? The things that are happening in your life, probably happening for a reason. Do we know all the reasons? No, definitely not. Can you sit there and go into analysis paralysis trying to figure out why this happened? Yeah, absolutely. Or you can say, you know what, that happened. How can I learn from it and move beyond it so it doesn't happen again? Right? So for the email, for instance, we set up a 2-factor authentication, which, yes, it could still get hacked, but it's a little bit harder. It's a bit harder, as far as I know, right? It's a bit harder for it to be hacked if you have these precautions kind of set up. And so, we're learning the ropes of that, of how can we just set ourselves up better for success in the future so that when we do have a larger volume of sales coming through for the week, we're not having these little things screw things up, right? Because it is a low volume of sales right now as we start to kick it off. But it's not catastrophic, right? And there aren't necessarily a whole lot of things in life that are catastrophic. I have a part of me that's like, okay, let's not go there. So we're not even going to go there. But the whole point of this is, how are you handling kind of the shit storm that's thrown at you? Because life will not always be sunshines and rainbows. There's going to be stuff that goes wrong. And how you handle it says a whole lot about your character. So I'm going to sign off here. I'm going to get back to the rest of my day, probably take a nap today because it is going to rain. And it's been an emotionally exhausting week of just coaching myself through the chaos. So I'm sending you so much love. I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your day. And as always, be you, because the world needs more of you. Bye.